Well, good morning, and an early morning it is. Welcome back to the channel. It's 6 o'clock, and as you can see, I'm not in the allotment. I thought I'd just go back to where I left off on the last video, where we've tried to green up this side of the fence at home, between me and my daughter's garden. So I'll take you down there and show you what we've done there, and then we'll nip off to the plot and see what we're getting up to today. So these are the steps down to the middle part of the garden, and this is where I wanted to green up. And what I did is, as I mentioned, I lifted this whole panel up, took the flags out, cut them, infilled between the cavity of the wall, between both sides, filled it with topsoil and compost, and planted it up. And as you can see, I've done three. I've done a pocket here, a pocket there in the centre, and one down at the bottom. In this one, I've got a Clematis montana, which is quite vigorous. It'll go up there in no time. That one, we have a Jasminoides, which is a good winter one. We've also got another Clematis, but I ain't got my glasses on so I can't read it, but that's a red one. And then down at the bottom we've got the Mile a Minute, which is very, very vigorous. A lot of people stay clear from it, but I really do like it. It'll be up and over this in 2 seasons. It'll be up here from right the way down there, but as long as you keep it nice and in shape and keep on top of it, they're a lovely plant. They have like a little cream flower. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I'll give you a closer look before we bob off to the allotment. So there we go. That cavity there is about, you're looking at about 2.5 feet, 3 foot deep. So, and then straight down to clay. So this Mile a Minute's got plenty of room to grow in. I was busy with the jet wash yesterday. I did all these steps and I did the top part of the garden. I'm going to do this middle section this morning before I go down to the allotment. And there we go. I don't know if you can read what that Clematis is there. I can't see a thing, I'm blind as a bat. I think it's up at the top there. And then that's the jasmine. I've got to get this wall. I was going to render it, but I think that'll stain the flags. So rather than that, I think I'm going to clad it in timber, pretty much similar to what I've done with this wall here. That obviously needs a coat of preserve on it. And then the final one is where the montana is. And that one is really deep. I would say that one is 3.5 foot deep. It took a fair few bags of topsoil and compost to fill that. But overall, I'm pleased with it. As I say, did the jet washing, and I've still got a little bit to do yet. Right guys, I'll see you down the allotment. Well, we're down at the allotment. I'm Mal, veg plot man, and what an absolutely glorious morning to be down here. I'm the only one on site at the moment. It's about just gone 7. And it's just lovely to be able to come down. I've got to get home. I'm going to do the jet washing when I get back, but there is no rush for me today, so it's nice to come down when you've got blue sky. I don't know how long it's going to last. It's nice to be able to come down and look at what jobs you're going to do and not be rushed. As you can see from behind me, I managed to get all the paths wood chipped over the last couple of days. I got some dropped off at the bottom plot, so that's both the back and the front now wood chipped, which are a bit of a weight off my mind. It's a big job, is that, when you're doing it on your own, but that's been done. But what I'll do is, I'll take you up to the greenhouse and let you know what we're going to be doing this morning. Before we go into today's itinerary, we'll just have a quick look round the greenhouse. As you can see there at the back are some of my tomatoes. Some are a little bit stretched, but that won't be a problem. I'll just plant those into the pots quite deeply, and there should be no problem there. I need to get this kale sitting outside now under cover. I think it's getting a bit warm in this greenhouse for it. It might just soften it too much. Where we've got the basil, the beetroot has started to shoot through now. At the back there, we've got the leeks, we've got the cabbage, and we've got the sprouts. In front, the cosmos is doing quite well. I need to get some more cosmos away, to be fair, because this stuff is for down here. I want some for the garden at home. As you can see there, the peppers, the sweet peppers, are doing well. Always a tad slow at this time of year, but as soon as we start to get that warmer weather, they'll romp on and I'll be potting those up before you know it, and things will speed up. That's the melons, the Blenheim orange, come on well. And there's the sunburst squash. I've set some sweet corn away, and that's just starting to make an appearance. I've put that straight into this deep tray. I'd say that's probably about 2.5 inch thick, deep. And what I intend is for them to come straight out of that. Just put it on in one stage and then they'll go out. I've checked the parsnips. They're coming on really well, but it's going to be next week before those are ready to be transplanted. But what I'll do today is I'll get the Perspex lid on top of the raised bed where they're going to be transplanted into to start and warm that soil in ready to receive them. The onions are doing really well. I've not clipped them. I think I might do, but at the moment they're looking that well. I don't really want to interrupt them, so really pleased with those. Right, let's crack on with what we're going to be doing today. So today, first off, I'm going to be planting out my broad beans. The bed's ready for them, so they're going to be going in. I've picked up some climbing blackberry and raspberry, so I'm going to find a location for those and get those up one of the fences round the sides. Don't know whether to do it on the front plot or on the back plot where all the fruit trees are. I've also got myself a fig, but what I think I'm going to do with that is I'm going to pop that on and just bring it on a little bit in the greenhouse and give it a really good start before I think to put that outside. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sow my first row of carrots, and they are sweet candle, so they're going to get done. It's an absolutely glorious day today, it really is. I hope we see a full allotment site, because when you get weather like this you can't pass it up. And then I'm going to be doing a little bit more sowing. The cucumber mini munch is going to be going in, and I'm going to get the Romanesco cauliflowers on the way. Never tried that. I heard good things from a lot of YouTubers, so I'm going to give that a go. Right, let's get cracking then, and let's get out there. So here we are. Got this little bed prepped. I've got these little canes that I cut down from the apple tree. I kept all the thinner ones to use as supports. What I'll do is I'll use some of my bamboo canes just to tie them all together so that it makes one support, and it supports the the broad beans. So let's have a look at the root system on these. Look at that. It's a perfect, lovely plug plant, that. You know, I much prefer doing this than sowing them direct. You know, one of the things that, the problems that you have when you're sowing direct is, are the mice going to find them first, you know? So yeah, I much prefer to get them off going, and I could drop that on the floor and it won't break apart. It's really good. So they're in. This bed has had some leaf mould and the tiniest bit of manure in there. Not too much, the tiniest bit, because it's quite a fertile bed is this. Still got a load of twigs from the leaf mould. So I'm putting in here 8 plants, and that's all we need. You know, we don't want to outface ourselves. Right, I'll carry on with that and I'll come back to you. There we go, nicely planted up. I'm not going to cover that. Some people put the nets over them, but the last couple of years that I've done it, the pigeons have stayed off them. So I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. Worst case scenario, I can always just throw a net straight over the top of the twigs there. I've ended up planting 10 in there because there were 2 spare rather than letting them go. So yeah, they're quite close together, but I can get in there and take the beans young. So yeah, quite pleased with that. Right, let's move on. Where are these this raspberry and this blackberry going to go? Let's have a look. So what I think I'm going to do is put this raspberry on sort of like the right hand side where it gets virtually full sun all day. I've got currant bush here, and obviously I've also got all the fruit trees here, so it lends itself for this, and hopefully this will scramble away all the way up the fence there. Have a little bit of pruning to do on this currant, but once I've done that we should be okay. What I'm going to do with that is get myself a cane, a couple of canes up here, just to remind me that it's there, and hopefully it'll grow away. As I mentioned a little earlier, this is the first parsnip bed. It's all prepped. All the hard stones are out of there. I've gone through it, put a little bit of sharp sand in there. So this is ready to roll, and I think next week they'll be ready to transplant. So as I said earlier, key thing is let's get this covered over. There we go. And just bob a flag on each end just to stop that wind. And that can get nicely and warm, ready for the parsnips to go in. So, another job off the list. Right, what I'm going to do, this is the top half of the plot, again on the sunny side. I'll put this blackberry in this, what was the squash bed last year and will be a squash bed again. I'm going to plant it here and just train it back onto the fence there. So I'm hoping that over the years, eventually, all these fences they'll be clothed. Again, what I'll do is I'll get some canes and train this onto there. Now all I want it to do is grow your bugger grow, as Alan Titchmarsh once said. So here we are at the carrot bed. I'm really flying here today. What I've done is I've just made a drill. I don't know if you can see it there. Just by using this board, and I'll just sow straight into that quite liberally. As I mentioned to you last year, that were a massive stone. As I mentioned to you last year, I don't thin out. I just literally sow them. That might be a bit deep, that. I sow them and just leave them. No thinning out. You know, I'm not growing for the show bench. I'm growing for the pot. So you get some small ones, and you get some decent sized carrots. So just into that drill there, and then in about 4 weeks I might put another row in, and then 4 weeks after that a third row in. And I'm trying to find those rainbow ones. Somebody told me about a website, Seeds Direct I think, so I'm going to be bobbing on there and seeing if I can purchase some of those, and I'll put those as the next row. Nearly there now. I'm hoping for big things. I've really done a bit of a number on this bed in terms of preparation. You watch the bit worse season I've had. Right, I'll get them covered up. Right, that's them covered up. What I'm going to do now is just put a little cloche over the top just to keep the soil warm. And all that'll do is just heat the soil and hopefully bring them on a little bit quicker. Right, let's crack on. So pleased I got these wood chipped. I say it takes a fair few barrows all the way from the bottom of the pot down there. You've just got to switch off and go for it. Right, I've got a little bit of popping on and sewing to do now. But before I do that, I'll take you down the bottom there and just show you the loading bay area. On the way to the loading bay, I thought I'd just show you how the canners in the greenhouse are coming along. They're all starting to shoot, so that's really good. And the dahlias as well are starting to send out some new shoots, so very pleasing. These leeks are bulking out now, looking really good. Hopefully we'll get a really good harvest from those. And also the spring onions, look at those, they're looking really good. I'm going to get another lot of those sown in this next bed here. So yeah, my pal drops me off a load of wood chip. That loading bay was full to the rafters. and there's been enough to do all the front plot and all my utility area here. So what I'm going to be doing is today I'm going to be cracking on with some sewing, and then I'll be getting into this timber here, and also looking to get some of this timber chopped up, because underneath all that there, that all needs wood chip. So the quicker I get that done, the quicker I can get the wood chip in. Well guys, I'm going to call it a draw there. As I say, I've got some sewing to do. Crack on with that wood. And then I need to get home and do that jet washing before I can finally put my feet up and enjoy the weekend. I uploaded my last video on a Sunday, and I didn't really get many views. So I'm going to have to start and look on the analytics and see when people are watching. So I don't know whether I'm going to upload this one today, which is Saturday, or I'm going to leave it until Monday. But yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic day down here. I hope it is sunny and lovely where you are. I know some people overseas, like the Valley and people like that, have got it a lot colder than this. But for all you UK subscribers, I hope you've got a day like I've got. Just to be down here listening to the birds, peace and quiet. I had the grandkids yesterday on my own. The wife were working, the daughter were at a wedding. I brought them down here. Oh, it was pandemonium. Pandemonium. So to be down here on my own today, nice and quiet, I'm going to go get myself a brew. It's fantastic. Right folks, have a fantastic weekend. Have a great week next week. And happy growing. Take care.